Hello, you're welcome to my presentation. My name is Deborah DK, and the title of my presentation is Asukwo's Cartoons as Social Commentaries on Bad Governance and Politics in Nigeria. So I'm going to be sharing my slides, and I might go off as a result of that. I'll be speaking to my slides so you can hear what I'm saying per time. I'll share my screen, and I hope you listen and you reserve the questions and the comments at the end. I will be needing them. Thank you. Asukwo's cartoons are social commentaries on bad governance and politics in Nigeria. My name is Deborah Dike, like I said, and I am an independent researcher from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm interested in social media for communication. I'm interested in social media for politic conversations. I'm interested in photographs for communication. I'm interested in creative photographs for communication. And that is why this topic is one of the things I have worked on. And I started working on this in 2017. I did an overview of Asukwo's cartoons from 2012, and I understudied it as a research assistant for a research work. And that was where my interest grew. And since then, I have been learning and I've been recording things around this issue. The first thing I want to point out is that in post-independence Nigeria, satirical expressions have become a tool against oppressive administrations. And the reason for this is because in Nigeria, it is not the administration in governance do not usually welcome an outright opposition. They are not exactly very comfortable around it. And that is why creatives have gone through the means of satire. So they present their work in such a way that becomes satirical representations of what they would have loved to see directly. And E.B. Asukwo, Itimbasi, is an example of an artist that has taken to cartoon art to satirize bad governance in Nigeria. So E.B. Asukwo, a little bit of background about him is that he is, as of the time I came across him in 2017, he was the editor-in-chief of a Nigerian newspaper, This Day newspaper. And initially, he used to publish his cartoons on This Day newspaper. But by the time I came across him in 2017, he was no longer publishing on This Day newspaper. These cartoons that I am presenting today are the ones he published on his personal page. Some of them, as you will see, are also called out from This Day newspaper, but it wasn't taken from the official page of This Day newspaper. It was taken from Asukwo's personal profile. This is an interesting one. This is just a depiction of everyday Nigerian in the full scarcity mood. And this particular one is about, you can just see it. It's a picture that tells a complete story. Not much is needed. This is the situation on ground whenever there is full scarcity. People that are supposed to be working have to leave their places of work and source for alternative source of power. Because in Nigeria already, generating your own source of power is a norm. But if there is no fuel scarcity, there is no difficulty in doing that. You just go to the nearest petrol station and you access it. But with petrol scarcity, you have to, in addition to accessing your own power, you have to queue up for that. Unnecessary time wastage. Let's proceed. So his works, Asukwo's works also are examples of photographic images that speak on their own, like we saw in this particular slide. Once you have an understanding of the Nigerian situation and you look at this cartoon, you don't need a lot of interpretation to understand what is going on. As you can see, the first person is a barber, the second woman backing the baby is a grinding machine owner, the guy on a device sitting on the keg is a business center operator, there is a hairdresser, there is a welder. You know, this is, and then there are two people behind that are struggling for who is in front of who is not in front of who. And this is an exact replica of what happens during fuel scarcity in Nigeria amongst people that own small businesses. So this, for Asukwo's cartoons are also photographic images, as we can already see, because they are independent of written text and spoken words without much to say or much to write. They're very clear. So long as you can identify with the situations around bad governance in Nigeria, you can easily identify with the cartoons of Asukwo, excuse me. This is a very interesting one. This is an unending recession exit, as can be clearly seen. It is very interesting because just look at what is happening. One exit leads to another, to another, to another, and it's just very typical of what happens in a bad governance situation, such as we are used to here in Nigeria. And we're happy and grateful to Asukwo for representing us well. It's such an interesting situation. So some authors have cited the reasons why political cartoons are like this. I think the first author here, the first citation is an important one to note. Usually difficult to communicate publicly. So the issues that are usually difficult, like I earlier mentioned, in Nigeria, people in administration, politicians in administration don't usually take it lightly that people oppose them. They're not happy. They're not welcoming of oppositions. So you have to do it in such a way that it is masked in some form of satire and it is not direct. And that is why these authors, Kangira Mentulindila, have explained it like this, that you have the cartoons are, political cartoons are expressions that are usually difficult to communicate publicly. And like Awan Sani et al. Rightly says, they are also mirrors of social events and realities. They're very aptly, like, just look at this. This is a very clear instance of the reality. This is another mirror. This is a very interesting one because this particular one seemed to be repeating itself over and again. The recent administration in power, they are from the political party APC. The APC came in interestingly on the wings of social media. The campaigns, the electioneering took place a lot on social media. So everybody that went in opposition of the previous government They had representatives on Twitter especially, and they bashed the previous government, and they were able to take them out and overrule them. An interesting irony, would I call it that? An interesting situation arose when they came into power, the APC came into power, and they've been trying to take away the power of social media, the power of opposition that social media enables Nigerians. They've tried it. In this particular picture, this particular cartoon of Asukwo was created in 2015, interestingly, because that was the first time the ABC government frowned at social media and they tried to create a law that carried some form of limitations or ban on social media usage in Nigeria. But they were not successful, thankfully. It repeated itself again last year. I don't know if you follow Nigerian news. There's been an NSAS issue that went viral, and after that, there was a desire to ban Twitter because the hashtag activism started on Twitter. And interestingly, there's been a success because as we speak now, Twitter has been banned in Nigeria by the government, and people in Nigeria who tweet with VPNs to hide and make their locations anonymous. So that is what the current situation is. So this particular picture, even though created by Asukwo in 2015, stays relevant even till now, which leads to the next point that I am making, which is that social media has become an enabling exhibition ground and museum of sorts. If we look at the picture that I just showed, you would realize that social media is indeed an enabling ground for preservation of cartoon works, because we are able to reference text that has already been provided years before now and is so apt and very, it's interestingly correct, even though they were not originally written in this moment. And for Asukwo also, he grows an audience through his comments and through his social media engagement, and people identify with his cause, and people are happy with what he's doing because they see him as the voice of change, or as a voice of opposition, the one they could not easily provide themselves. All right, this is an interesting one, and I'd like us to note the first line. The first comment it says, I hope Mr. Asukwo has packed his detention bag, which is the clear case of the risk involved in speaking against opposition. And it is interesting that the comment section contains somebody who has identified that risk, and there is a conversation going on between the person who identified it and others who agree with the identification. So someone else says, never, we will start a hashtag, give Asukwo access to pen and paper, which is just interesting because it's just a reality show of sorts to show what happens in Nigeria, where people have power on social media to express themselves, which unfortunately that power has been stifled by banning Twitter. But this is how Nigerians are able to express their dissatisfaction about the governance in their country. So this particular cartoon that we just saw, it speaks to small business on the death row. And like I explained, those people, because of the unfavorable economic decision around petrol unavailability, their businesses get to suffer. The time they would have given to providing their services, they have to spend it standing on a queue waiting for their turn to buy petrol. And remember, power is already personally sourced in Nigeria, which is not good enough. So this heightens the difficulty that an average Nigerian who is a business person faces. I also made another point here that the comments under Asukwo's cartoon also show people that provide some kind of solidarity for the work he's telling, for his narrations. They are coming together to agree with him, to give him a thumbs up, to give him a love reaction, to give him a comment, to share his work. This is an instance. So this affirms the use of so his engagements, these engagements are like affirmations of what he's doing. And they're saying to him, yes, go ahead, Asukwo. We support you, we agree with you, we like what you're doing, tell our stories, narrate our event, show the world what is going on in Nigeria. We cannot do it, you can do it. We are in support of you. We like what you are doing. This is a typical example. This particular picture of unending recession generated 357 emoji reactions, and that is very good. This particular one is a Facebook commentary, 58 comments and 152 people who shared it because they agree with what he has said. And that's a replica of what happens in Nigeria, because people who see what you're doing and they're maybe afraid, or maybe they don't know how to go about raising a voice against what is happening, they render their support in the comments, they give you a thumbs up, they share your comment, they're saying, yes, go ahead, we support you, we like what you're doing, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And that brings us to the end of my very short and hopefully interesting and engaging presentation. Cartoonists like Asukwo will continue to be applauded for daring to narrate the effects of bad governance in Nigeria and to speak up against them through cartoon art. That's all my references. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions or comments for me? I'll be happy to take them. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and end the presentation. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took something out of it. I would like to know your comments. I'd like to hear your questions. I'd like to address them. You can always reach out to me, and I'm happy to respond to all of your comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you.